So let's look at this one. Linda won $200,000 in a state lottery. She first paid income tax of 30% on the winnings. Of the rest, she invested some at 1.5%, some at 4%, earning $4,350 interest per year. How much did she invest at each rate? Where do we start?
Set up the chart.
Set up a chart. If you don't know what else to do, a table is probably a good option. We're talking about interest, so that'll be the formula across the top. Principal times rate times time equals interest. On your rows, you can call them the first, the second, and the total, or you can label them with your percents, whatever you like. Okay. Now this problem does have an extra little twist to it. We started out with $200,000, but is that how much she invested? No, because what happened first? She won that, but then she had to pay the taxes. So she didn't get a check for that much. She paid her taxes. So how do I figure out how much money we actually have to deal with here?
Take 1.3 times 2,000.
Okay. And what do you get? $60,000?
Yeah.
That's the amount she paid in tax. So how much does she actually have? Right. You have to subtract that away. So we only really have $140,000 to deal with. So where does that number go? It is my total principal, my starting amount. Okay. She invested some at 1.5%. Do I know how much? No, so we call that X. 1.5, what would you use for the rate?
0.15.
0.015. I have to move it back 2. Some at 4%. Can I call this X also? No. What am I going to call it? Well, these two have to add to the total. So when I had when it was the total one we couldn't find, we add them together. What if, let's say she invested $40,000 in the first one. How much does she have left for the second one? 100. How'd you get it? Subtracted. So that's what we have to do for this one. It will be the 140,000 minus your X. And that's 4%, which is 0.04. Okay. Did I tell you what interest rate she's getting for the total one? Did I give you another percent in the problem? No. What other information is given here?
How much she earned?
Right.
Interest per year.
Give you the total amount of interest. So my total interest, 4,350. Okay. So then, let's see what else. We're talking about per year, 1 year. to get our interest, we multiply, so we have 0.015x 0.04 times 140,000 minus x. I do have a hole in my table, but that's okay. You don't have to fill out everything as long as you can get this final column. That's the part we need to write our equation. So it's okay that we don't know everything. So we just add the first two together to equal total.
You forgot the accent.
Thank you. Okay, so now we just combine like terms. So if you put your x's together, subtract over your 5,600. And we get 50,000. The question was, how much did she invest at each rate? If I look at my table, X was the amount at the 0.015, so at 1.5%. So she invested $50,000 at 1.5%. To get the second one, 140,000 minus 50,000 is 90,000 at 4%.
I dropped 5,400. I don't know what I did.
So all of these, remember, are typed up and posted there. We're going to work 2 or 3 more examples today, and then we'll give you guys some time to work on homework. So Peripheral Visions Incorporated produces high-definition DVDs of live concerts. The company places an ad in a trade newsletter. The cost of the ad is $100. Each DVD costs $20 to produce, and the company charges $24 per DVD. So part A, express the cost as a function of X, the number of DVDs sold. So everything we've been doing, we've had all these complicated, like making tables, all these, we're taking a step back. And these, we are really just writing linear equations from some problems here. If you think about the equation of a line, y equals mx plus b. M is your slope. That's like a repeated cost. B is your y-intercept. That is a one-time thing. I want cost as a function of x, so I'm writing c of x in place of my y. M, what is my repeated cost? So they pay, we have several different pieces here, don't we? So we've got the cost for the company They have to put in an ad, which is $100. They pay $20 for every DVD they produce. And what's the 20 for?
How much do they charge?
How much they charge to sell. So if I'm actually talking about the cost of the company itself, their repeated cost is the 20. For every DVD they produce, it costs them $20. Y equals mx plus b. What is their one-time fee? 100, that ad they placed. That's all we're doing for part A. Part B is revenue as a function of x. So R of x, that's the money you're bringing in. So the money you are charging other people. They cost $20 or $24 per DVD, so that's 24x. Do we have any one-time? No, so that's just it. Part C, for what value of x does revenue equal cost? So I'm asking, this is sometimes called a break-even point. I want to know when the revenue is equal to the cost. So we get 25. So what that means is if they sell 25 DVDs, they have made nothing. That's their break-even point. If they sell less than 25, did they make money or lose money? They lost money. If they sell more than 25, they are making money. Is that one okay? I'm going to give you one very similar, and I want you to try it on your own. So your cost, her initial cost was $40, and each cake cost $2.25 to make, so it would be $250 to make. 2.5 or 2.50x plus the 40 for the one-time cost. Part B, the revenue. What she charges, that's $6.50 per cake, so that's a repeated thing, so that's your slope. There's no y-intercept there. So C, our break-even point, we want revenue to equal the cost. So if you subtract over your 2.5, divide by 4, and that's 10. So she's got to sell 10 cakes to break even. More than that would be a profit.
It's a pretty cheap cake.
It is. Okay. One more problem for today. So a company produces 10 solar heaters for $7,500. The cost to produce 20 is $13,900. Part A, express the cost y as a function of the number of heaters x. So, did I just give you your slope and your y-intercept on this one? I gave you, what did I give you? I gave you ordered pairs on this one. Can we still write the line from those ordered pairs?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so I know cost is my y, the number is my x. So 10 costs 7,500. 20 costs 13,900. So slope, y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. How do we get the y-intercept? Pick a point, your slope, plug into y equals mx plus b. our Sept is 1100. So I have my equation. Part B, if I want the cost to produce 25 heaters, what do we have to do? Only get $17,100. Questions on this one? Alright. Then that is our stopping point for today. So on the handout we have been working on, we are ready